Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review for Halloween month. And not only for this movie review, but also that probably by this time after this, I'm gonna be uploading my but this weekend that the second season of Yashahime is out, so becoming this weekend. So after this, be upload the first episodes and give my my review of the first episode of the second season. So that's why I wear this, because I've been looking forward to this. So hope you all anyone who likes the Yashahime first season, and looking forward to this. Yep. So that's why I'm wearing this, just again in the spirit of it. But yeah, because I still like the shirt, Finally seen, Morha meeting her parents. First time, So. But anyway, getting back to this. For Halloween month, I'll be reviewing, pretty much you could say, say it's my favorite Chuck Norris film. Yes. Yeah, Chuck Norris film, why I would say Chuck Norris, because this is, I put this more as it's like more of a thriller, but I always thought it was more of a horror film. For me, so I figure why not, and that is of Silent Rage, and Silent Rage from 1982, starring Chuck Norris. And why I have it like this, because I don't have the DVD of this. This is actually my mother's. I'm borrowing it, so that's why it's in this case here. So I still need to get the official DVD for this. So, but I'm just borrowing this. But Silent Rage, I love. I grew up with this film. I always loved Chuck Norris. I love from Delta Force, Missing in Action movies, Invasion USA, Sidekicks. With Jonathan Brandis, I always enjoyed Sidekicks. I know, and I've always enjoyed Chuck Norris. It was the Hero and the Terror. Was it the Octagon? That was called. I know he did the Hitman, which I'm a little bit on though, but still, I've always enjoyed. Regardless, though, I've always enjoyed Chuck Norris. But this is what I've always watched the most, and I loved Silent Rage, and this is my favorite Chuck Norris film. And yeah, this is one of the closest, as they say, this is him starring in a horror film, basically. So that's why I'm doing this one. So Silent Rage, released from 1982. And it's Chuck Norris basically versus a murderous serial killer. Or we could probably say, some people say probably versus Michael Myers, but it's in a good perspective, because it is kind of like Michael Myers in a way, because he's mostly doesn't talk at all, except for the beginning, the opening, but that's about it though. He's like, I see his point of view, kind of like Michael Myers does, and so that's what I could say. It is kind of like that in a way. But I always love Silent Rage. I thought the action where Chuck Norris, fighting, fisticuffs, kicking his kicks, and especially in a bar fight, I enjoyed. But I've always enjoyed it. The film wasn't loved by much though. I mean, critical wise. I mean, it has a 5.5 on IMDb. Well, on IMDb, critical wise on IMDb, it has a 5.5, which to me that's way too low. I give a much more higher rating on that. I disagree on that. IMDb, much lower rating on IMDb. It doesn't deserve a 5.5. Although I think it has like an 80% Rotten Tomatoes. That's pretty good as well. Because I'm sure this probably the film has gained a cult following afterwards. But in this film, how it opens up, first of all, the score in this film, I thought was a very creepy score, done by the score. Well, two people did the score: Peter Bernstein and Mark Goldenberg. Especially the opening, when the movie first opens up, this like I can't do the score though, but I can do a shitty job though, but the score, especially that piece of music, I thought was pretty eerie and creepy, and so was the rest of the score that happens throughout the movie. really creepy, eerie score, and I enjoyed that. That was a good piece. That was a highlight of the film, is the eerie, creepy score, and how it was open. It shows like the stained glass window, like you see in a church, and then shows our character, the killer, named by the name of John Kirby, played by Brian Libby. He hasn't. I don't remember. He hasn't done much though, but he's been in a couple of other films. Like he was in the Green Mile. I think he was in the Shawshank Redemption. I remember seeing him. He was in Stephen King's The Mist. If you remember in Stephen King's The Mist, he was that biker. When Thomas Jane they were like they want to see how much rope they go out that go through this mist, and Brian Libby, he was that biker who was using the rope as a pole, and then when he got killed, when they were pulling him back, they found the lower half of his body they were pulling in. Or when he was talking to Marcia Gay Harden, the crazy lady, like, hey, crazy lady, I believe in God too. I just don't think he's the bloodthirsty asshole you make him out to be. Yeah, that was Brian Libby. So from Silent Rage, who played John Kirby in this. So yeah, he was in Stephen King's The Mist. As that biker. But yeah, I haven't seen it much. But I remember he appeared in that though. And I thought Brian Libby did a good job playing as John Kirby. He did give that creep factor as well, as appearance, like I say. And just how, like, in the opening of this, like, he's in this house, and he gets a phone call. It's his doctor, Dr. Hallman, played by Ron Silver, really enough, so I'll get to him in a second, though. But he's on the phone, he's like, you can tell this guy is very unstable. He's not in a state of mind, basically. And when he's on the phone, he's like, Doc Hallman, is that you? Doc, I'm losing it. Doc, I can't make it. And that's basically like the only dialogue he gives in the movie. And for the rest of the movie, he's just silent. And Brian Lee did a good job. He's like he's given that state of mind, like he is very losing. He's like, I'm losing it. Doc, I can't make it. So he did a really good job in this movie, Brian Libby. And like how and some of the camera work where he walks outside, right? Like it says where they're like this housekeeper and these little bright kitty brats are giving her trouble, and you see outside he's like over here and from this window, and he's out there, right? He's like getting an axe, and he's like supposedly we think he's chopping wood, but he disappears, but it stays on there. And also he comes walking back into the house, and that's where we get that good eerie, creepy music by Peter Bernstein and Mark Goldenberg. Then he starts chasing the housekeeper up the stairs into the door. This one guy hits him with a chair, does nothing, then just goes and right in the guy's face. And also one thing though, it's an R-rated though, but it's not with the kills. It's not gory at all, so you're not expecting any very bloody, gory kills in this movie. It's not. It's just they're simple kills, but they're not gory kills. Like yeah, you see the guy axe in the guy's face. You see the result of it, but it's not full on blood or guts or anything. It's just simple. I don't know how to say it. It's not gory kills. That's what I say. It's not gory kills. Like after that, then he kills the housekeeper. Like it cuts away when he kills the woman. It cuts to him when he slams the axe into the woman. Just cuts to him like, ugh. It doesn't show the aftermath. It just shows him point the camera on him killing the woman. So yeah, it cuts away. So it's not full on gory kills in this movie. So yeah. So then comes in the man himself, Chuck Norris. Even the title and the poster is like, science created him, and now Chuck Norris has to destroy him. Now, I gotta say also, like, I think many people like those Chuck Norris analogies and all that stuff. To me, personally, I was never a fan of, though. I mean, I get that, Chuck Norris is the man. He is the man, though. He is the man, though, but I was never a fan of the analogies, especially when they had to make a joke like that in Expendables 2, it's like, oh, when you got bit by the cobra, and after, what was it, a whole day or whatever, the cobra died. I'm like, yeah, they had to throw that in there in Expendables 2, which that's one of the things I didn't like about Expendables 2, because it was way too jokey. That's one thing. But they had to throw that in there. But I'm saying, I was never a fan of those Chuck Norris analogies or whatever, those jokes. But I do say, but still, I know like Chuck Norris is like the man, a god, or whatever. But yeah, but still. But like, even the posters like science created him, and now Chuck Norris has to destroy him. Well, technically, this guy can't be destroyed, basically, unless he gets blown to bits if you shoot a grenade or rocket launcher at him, maybe. But then Chuck Norris arrives, gets into a scuffle with the guy, and then when he puts the cuffs on him, Ron Silver arrives. He's John Kirby's doctor, and Ron Silver, may he rest in peace. Another good actor who's passed away, died from like some years back. Because he's a good actor, Ron Silver. He was also in Time Cop with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Another good film with Van Damme. I enjoyed Time Cop. He was a good Ron Silver. He was a bad guy in that film. I enjoyed him in that. He's been in other movies too, but sadly he's now passed away. But Ron Silver, good actor. So he plays John Kirby's doctor, and then John Kirby, Brian Libby, he breaks out of the cuffs. Starts so more police officers, and he gets shot, but he's still alive though. But then now Ron Silver and these other doctors, one of them played by Stephen Keats, who's the main doctor, and the other one's William Finley as another doctor. William Finley, I remember he had a small appearance in I reviewed last year for Halloween month on the Fun House. He was one of the carnival guys, like a magician, I think it was. He had a small appearance in that, though. William Finley. He plays one of the doctors in here. But it's mainly the guy Stephen Keats who is really the main doctor, who using this experiment on John Kirby. Trying to like win a Nobel, try to be like famous or something. It's like a genetic breakthrough, where they use basically John Kirby as an indestructible person, right? He can, like John Kirby, he can get shot at, whatever, or cut, but he instantly heals. It instantly heals him. So they do the experiment on him, and then Chuck Norris has a girlfriend. Well, they kind of broke up, but then they got back together. Which actually that's Ron Silver's sister, Allison, played by Toni Kalem. Which I was like the relationship, like the love relationship in this between Chuck Norris and Toni Kalem. Not bad though, but I wasn't really interested in the romantic relationship though. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, Toni Kalem does fine in the film, playing Ron Silver's sister. But I was more focused on what's going on with the killer more than the romantic. But Chuck Norris's deputy named Charlie, played by Stephen Furst. I know I've seen him in other films. I've seen one or two other movies before though, and sadly he's now passed away. Sadly too though. And I like the character Charlie. He's like the guy, the nice guy, a good deputy friend to Chuck Norris. And when it comes to when they're having to play this bar fight, they're having this bar. Chuck Norris has this bar fight, which I thought was really good. He's kicking all these bikers, kicking ass, taking names, kicking all these bikers' butts. When does like when he slams his hands against the people's ears, to get in the ring, and like then punching, doing his kicks. And then, which the bar fight was really good. I enjoy the bar fight. And then the one like the leader of the gang, and he gets on his bike, and Chuck Norris saying, "You're next." Just whacks him, and the bike goes out the window. I enjoy the bar fight. Chuck Norris fisticuffs. And then with John Kirby, now he's alive still because thanks to the genetic experiments. We get the whole Michael Myers aspect, because we see from his point of view, like times with Michael Myers. He goes to Ron Silver's place, and like I said, from his point of view, we're seeing from his point of view walk in, and he even picks up a knife, like kind of like in he picks up a knife and then attacks John Kirby. He tries shooting him, but ultimately he kills Ron Silver, and then he goes and kills his wife. Billy slams her head against the wall, and then Toni Kalem comes over, does a wardrobe change, then finds the wife dead, then finds her brother hanging on the door like this. Like you see in a slasher film, like a Michael Myers type slasher, hanging on the door. And then they go back to the hospital, where now since the doctor Stephen Keats he knows what he's done, and even though he tells Chuck Norris that John Kirby is dead, but he knows what's going on because he's the one who does cause all this. So he tells William Finley to end the experiment. So basically, he tries to project like acid into John Kirby, but isn't doing any good though, because now he's indestructible now. And I did like the shot where when William Finley is leaving, he's walking, right, slowly walking, and then right behind him, I thought it was like a creepy look to it, where all of a sudden this light opens up because the door behind him opens up and it gets this really flashy light from behind him, this hallway. I thought it was like a creepy moment right there. And of course, William Finley, he does do a stupid thing where he knows it's John though. It's like, John, is that you? And he starts walking towards him. I mean, first of all, if that was me, if I see something like that happening, a guy standing right there, like just like that, is walking where John's standing there. First of all, I'm getting the fuck out of there. I'm hauling ass. I mean, I'm getting my ass out of Dodge basically. My ass is gone. I'm running away. But no, of course, William Finley, he's like, John, is that you? He's just walking. He stupidly walked towards him, and then he had a needle, but John Kirby overpowers him, stabs him in the neck with it. I'm like, that's what you get for your stupidity, Instead of like, oh, is that not you? No, you can walk towards him. No, instead of like just getting the hell out of Dodge, basically. No, that was me. I would haul ass. My ass is gone. But yeah. Then when Keats comes back, discovering what the experiment was a success, finds his body, goes back. And I like the fact that he just goes to have a drink, and then when John just casually just comes in, it's like, I've been expecting you. Come in. And like John Kirby, for some reason I thought it was kind of funny. Like when he said "come in," he just steps into the room. He does like "come in." Like he's like in front of the door, says "come in." He steps into the room. Like yeah, he lets himself in. I don't know why. I just thought that was like, he still knows. He acknowledges. So it's like, I've been expecting you. Come in. And he steps in. So he tells him, yeah, I made history and all that stuff. And it looked like John was about to say something. He's like, what? And then snaps his neck. He snaps his neck. And this was another sad, I thought it was kind of a sad scene, actually, because John Kirby he's strangling this one scientist guy, and then Charlie, the deputy, he dies because, well, since John Kirby, he's like super strong now. He goes and breaks Charlie's back. He's giving like this, and so Charlie tells Allison to run, and then just goes and John breaks his back, and then you get this whole. It's kind of like it's like in Halloween 2. It's the whole thing in this hospital, right? Which it kind of reminds of Halloween 2, like. And also thinking, why is probably if people have seen this film, people will probably be asking, why is the hospital so empty? Why is there enough people in there? It's more you could say in Halloween 2 because, well, you could say it's the graveyard shift though, but that was where there wasn't much people in there. But it's probably we could say the same thing. Why is there enough people in this hospital? But yeah. But then Chuck Norris arrives, he finds Charlie. I thought it was kind of sad, like, my mom, even my mom says this every single time when he's. My mom says every single time when she watches this, she always felt sorry for Charlie. Like Chuck Norris, was kind of holding him. He's like, and Charlie's like with his dying words, like, he hurt me bad. And Charlie's like, it's okay, Charlie. I'm gonna take care of you. You're gonna be okay. He's like, I'm sorry. It's okay. Shh. Chuck Norris seemed to kind of hold him. It's gonna be okay. Shh. It's okay. It was kind of sad though. My mom thinks that that's a sad every single time she sees that scene, and sees that he's dead. Now he just kind of he feels mad about that now, and now he's gonna go after John now, and we see more from John's point of view, where he's walking. You see him scamming through the hallways. And once you get that eerie, creepy score from Peter Bernstein and Martin Goldenberg, that I can't do it. But it was when he's skimming through the hallways, that creepy music is playing from his point of view. I thought it was pretty good. And then we chases her some more. Then Chuck Norris starts shooting him, falls off from the window, but he's still alive. And then they're driving. He gets him from behind, and they jump out. And John's like trying to steer the car, but then it flips over, explodes, and then he catches on fire. He's screaming in pain because, like I said, he can still feel pain even though he's indestructible. Though he's all really good effect stunt performer when he's on fire, right? He's fully engulfed in flames. He's like he's screaming because he's on fire, so he can still scream in pain. So that was a good stunt where he's fully on fire, but then he jumps into the water, and then you get the finale, which I thought was a good finale. It's not, he's doing Chuck Norris is punching him, kicking him, kicking his high jump kicks, in slow mo, and you get the close up of each of one's face. It's Chuck Norris versus the killer, Oh, people say he's Michael Myers, but it's John Kirby. Well, yeah, you probably say it's Michael Myers because he's kind of more of a silent killer, but still. Although it is kind of a good idea, though. And then tosses his ass down the well, and which there's no way he can get out of there. It's a very deep well. There's no way for him to climb out. And when the camera pans down, he shows he's still alive. And then it ends with that, as the credits are going, you have that creepy score that was playing at the beginning of the movie. I wish they wanted to set. They were trying to set up for a sequel, but I'm like, how? Because there's no way for him to get out unless someone finds him and pulls him out, though. But other than that, though, which there was no need to. Which I'm glad there's been no sequel ever since then. I'm glad for. Because we know there's no way for him to get out. He's still alive, though, but he can never get out of there. Unless when the people find out about it, that's a killer down there, leave him there. Put a sign in front of the well saying, do not cross this line or whatever. So, yeah. But yeah, Silent Rage, I love. It's always been my favorite Chuck Norris film. I've always enjoyed other Chuck Norris movies, though, but this is always I've watched the most. My mom loves this movie. That's why this is hers, because I'm borrowing it, because I need to get the DVD for myself. But yeah, I always enjoyed Silent Rage. It was kind of a different, take, from it has action though, but it's more the theme of it is mostly a horror thriller, which kind of different thing. Like you say, is the only. Excuse me. Just build myself up. They're too much for it. It is kind of it's like the only horror film that Chuck Norris did, you can say. But yeah, Chuck Norris, like I said, he's the man. He did a great. He did an awesome job, kicking ass, taking names as usual, fighting against a killer like that. And like I said, the score I really loved. The very creepy, eerie music, especially playing with the opening for the rest of the movie. The action when Chuck Norris in the bar fight I enjoyed, and especially at the end when he's just kicking John Kirby's ass, kicking, punching. And Ron Silver for the role he had, I liked him because he's a good actor. I like Ron Silver. He was good. Toni Kalem, who played Allison. Like I said, I wasn't more focused. It was more focused on the killer, more on the romantic relationship part though. But she still did fine. Brian Libby as John Kirby, he did a great job as the killer. John Kirby. I think he did a good job. Like I said, it shows how he's a mentally unstable person. It's like, I'm losing it. And like I said, the kills were not gory at all. I mean, a neck snap, a stab here, or whatever. It wasn't all blood. This film was not all bloody and gory. It was not aiming towards that at all. So I was fine with, because we get the whole thing. This is the simplistic of it. Stephen Furst as Charlie, I liked him too. So bad. It was like we felt sorry for him when he died. You know, Chuck Norris was holding him when he was dying. I felt sorry for him. It was sad too. As for the other doctors, like Stephen Keats as and William Finley as well. So yeah, the overall cast was pretty good, and I enjoyed the score. I loved the action, and so from the camera work, like from John Kirby's point of view, I liked. I know I wasn't far too many issues I had with the movie, other than, like I said, I was less interested in more in the romantic part of it though. But it was not bad at all. I was fine with it. I can tolerate it, but I was more focused on the rest of the movie though. But I don't think it's a nitpick though. I can tolerate it. It was fine with it. But Chuck Norris, like I said, he did an awesome job. Like I said, Chuck Norris is the man. No question about it. It was good. We do have like more of a horror film, him versus basically Michael Myers, basically a silent killer like him. So, and yeah, like him, essentially in the hospital, it kind of reminds of Halloween 2. So, in a way, it kind of was, yeah. But Silent Rage, I love. And if anyone's a fan of Chuck Norris or hasn't seen a Chuck Norris film, give this a watch. Because Chuck Norris, like I said, Chuck Norris, he's the man. He was like kicking ass and taking names. Especially against a serial killer like him, a genetic experiment, you could say. Indestructible man. But yeah, Silent Rage, definitely a thumbs up. This is, like I said, this is my favorite Chuck Norris film. Always have, always will be. But yeah, I've always liked the other Chuck Norris movies too, regardless though. But that's my review for Silent Rage. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more for Halloween month. Later. And like I said, Chuck Norris, he's the man. Later.